Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we are talking to the Lucid Furs. Check it out. See?
Nice. Got it.
It sounds hot.
I know. It does sound, it sounds so soothing almost, but it is kind of, in a weird way, hot. I'm not sure why. So, hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I'm talking to Dan, Nick, Gordie, and Karen of the Lucid Furs. How are you guys?
Hey, good, man.
Awesome. So last time we talked was in the midst of the pandemic lockdown. Everybody was, shut down. Touring was shut down. We weren't sure when things were going to be able to start back up, but now we're free.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are actually on the road right now, right? And where are you at?
Montgomery, Alabama.
Montgomery, Alabama. Fantastic.
Right now, we're in between stops right now. So
in between. Oh, so you don't have a show. When's the next show?
Thursday, Wilmington, North Carolina, Reggie's 42nd Street.
Wow, awesome. So how has it been so far? How has it been to be back and doing shows and?
Really
good.
Awesome. Super stoked.
And we've been doing really well too.
Yes,
Awesome.
We were prepared for like low turnouts, and we're like, okay,
Yeah.
it's not gonna be the same as it was. But actually, it's been just as good, if not better, everywhere we've gone, and people seem to be returning to usual, sort of usual,
Yeah. Well, I know that myself personally, I felt like super ecstatic when I've been at a show, even if I've seen the band like 5 times. I'm like, just to be back, because it felt longer than 18 months.
Yeah, I've talked to quite a few people while we've been on the road that were just like, it's like almost emotional, like to go back to shows.
Yeah.
Like something that you take for granted, and then all of a sudden you're like, fuck, finally I can go back to shows now.
Yeah. I seriously get thankful every time I'm able to go to a show. So I'm sure that people that are getting to see you guys are like, oh shit, this is awesome. It's fantastic. And they get to see you. I mean, not just some fucking Joe Schmo cover band.
Yeah.
Getting to see
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, fuck
We're
yeah.
fortunate too to have friends who are still around from when we first started touring. So we've pretty much known somebody everywhere we went,
Awesome.
which is really cool.
Got somebody cool to hang out with already.
Yeah.
Places to go. You already know.
Right. We were hanging out with Doomstress in Texas. We went on a tour with them a couple years ago, and they came out to see us when we were in Houston.
Fantastic.
Really, really cool people.
Yeah.
Super friendly.
Housed us up,
accommodating.
fed us breakfast. We had
Kolaches.
Oh, really? What is a kolache?
Essentially, like you know what baffles are, right? You've seen those things at like the store. They're like those like
It's a
like filled with
Bathos,
like
but it's way better.
yeah, it's got like pepperoni and cheese and like different shit.
Like
but
a
they
pizza
put a
with
sausage in there. It's like a cheese.
giant pigs in a blanket.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, cool.
Real
Awesome.
life
Super
hot
good.
pocket. It's a hot pocket.
a real life.
It's an awesome homemade hot pocket.
Like the ones you put in the not the ones you put in the microwave that are ice cold in the middle
Yeah.
and flaming hot on the outside.
Awesome. So since you've been on tour, what's been the most funnest moment for each of you guys? Yeah. Go for it, Karen.
Honest.
I would say last night, New Orleans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was pretty fun.
Orleans.
New Orleans.
Saying?
Yes, New
No,
Orleans.
no.
It doesn't really matter.
Should we argue about this for a little while?
We should. No, it's knowledge.
Knowledge.
We have fucking accents. We're just gonna have to live with them.
That's right. You're from Michigan, so you got to embrace it. I'm sorry.
Right. Everyone's like, you talk so fast.
What's your favorite?
Yeah, I mean, I love New Orleans every time we go on tour. Anytime we go to New Orleans, the food is super good and everything.
Yeah.
But playing wise, I don't know, man. That show, San Antonio show was pretty awesome, honestly. Like that show.
That's a cool town. That's a really
So
cool
many
town.
showed
That
up.
was
Yeah,
pretty
a lot of
high-
people
high
showed
energy.
up, and everybody showed a lot of love, and it was awesome. It felt like kind of like like so many people were like, "Thank you for coming back," and it was such a cool, it was a good feeling.
Was that your funnest moment, Karen?
Yeah, probably plan wise. There was a lot. It was a small room, but it was just jam packed and like a lot of energy. And
nice. Where was it again? Like where in San Antonio?
San Antonio.
Foss Tavern.
Which is
Foss Tavern. Okay, cool.
Yeah, our buddy Lotus Smoke hooked us up.
Nice. And had you guys played there before?
We've been there. We've been to San Antonio twice before that.
Okay.
But not at Foss.
But not at Foss. No, the place we played is closed now.
Yeah, Limelight is where we played before.
Okay.
And I think now it's something else. I'm not entirely sure.
I think my funnest moment has just been guitar solos.
Of course you would say that.
One is the scenery changes, but the notes are still there.
I'm really surprised that they didn't say that was their funnest moment either.
Right after New Orleans.
Yeah.
New Orleans. They kept telling me
we'll get it right.
They kept telling me I could drink on the street in there, and I'm like, I'm not falling for this shit again.
I fell for it.
I fell for it too.
Wait, so you can't drink in the streets?
No, you can't. No, he's
shit. You guys are fucking with me.
Where I'm from, it's not allowed. So every time a cop drove by, I'm like, oh shit.
Hiding beer and shit. Like, no, it's all right. I promise.
Are you sure?
I don't need any kind of interaction.
You look way more suspicious trying to stop it.
Yeah.
He's got a gun. No, it's just the beer. Oh.
Why are you doing that?
Stop it. No. He's just trying to have a good time. Fuck that guy. So you guys are on tour for the new album. Damn, that was easy. So was it easy? What was it easy to make that album?
It was very difficult.
I mean, maybe for those guys. I mean, it was pretty easy for me.
I wanted to name it "Damn, fuck, this is hard."
Fuck, that was
right. But then it's hard to use the word "fuck" for your album. So, and then we're
allowed to say that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Damn is the
He'll edit it out later.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have to do a lot of that.
I think the whole idea was just like we just have like such a fluid writing style, and we're just like all such good friends. It does a lot of the writing does come kind of easy just because we're just all like really in tune with each other, especially at practice.
And we all got good ideas. We're all so musically, inclined.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
So from a writing standpoint, it is easy. I mean, because it's all kind of flowing together. You guys are bouncing off ideas, and it just kind of flowing. And like, oh, I love this thing. I love this riff. Let's put this here, and then also you got a song.
Writing wise, very easy.
Yeah.
Everything else wise,
the writing's the easy part.
Writing, we just a couple beers, whatever.
Right.
But I mean, this album is
you got an album. You're like, are we finished? Oh,
and this album is on Argonaut, right? Is that correct?
Argonauta, yep.
Yeah.
Argonauta Records, yeah.
Very cool.
Our first one with some label backing.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And I love, I thank you guys for letting me check it out a little bit early, which was super cool. And I bought my copy, and I'm waiting for the LP because I have the other LP, and I'm like, yes, it's gonna be great. But I was listening, and you've got there's the heavy blues, the psych rock thing going for sure. But I think this album, I noticed a little bit of funk going on.
That's right, baby. Woo!
There's some
funk.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good.
There's some Sly and the Family Stone kind of fishbony things going on. And I'm like, whoa.
Next album, noticeable funk.
Noticeable funk. I'm like, whoa.
Notably funk. No.
But like even on the second album, I had people comment to me like, oh, more gain, make it heavier. So I did put more gain on this album, a little heavier. But
the style,
But as far as the style, like we really we've always had some funkiness. But
Five Finger Disco and Conscience, those two songs, man, are like, whoa. Let's
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
let's get down and get happy, you know?
Yeah, and
No,
that's
I'm
like,
about it, yeah.
especially like Five Finger Disco. Like Nick kind of came up with that, like and like it just makes a whole other half of a song, you know. Like so, it's really like I said, we're always throwing ideas around.
Yeah. So how
I
did
funky no matter what? So
how did that vibe get in there? I mean, is it all because of Nick?
no, I've always been funky.
Nick Gordie's always been funky, and me and Nick have always liked funky shit. Like, even when we were growing up, we've always liked we maybe not played it like, but we've always loved
shit.
it.
Really, the first time that I ever really like jammed with you and like we had a conversation, I remember you telling me like, yeah, dude, I love like the funky shit that you were doing, and we were talking about doing like a funky jam, just like, you know, like figuring something out a long time ago. This shit that was probably, I think the jam that got me into Lucid Furs actually was when Ethan was there too.
Yeah, our old guitar player Ethan was jamming with Gordie, and I asked him like, "Man, you guys play great together. You should join the band."
Dan sent me a text, and I was like, fuck yeah, because my other band had just fallen apart, and I was like, not playing as much guitar, like seriously, kind of just like pick it up and put it down. And then when I got hit up, I was like, oh fuck. and then you know, lo and behold, a little later, Nick's in the band too. So it worked out.
Hell yeah.
Productive jam session that night. Typically, they're kind of just a fucking myriad of like.
Oh, I remember that night because I'll sit on the floor, banging the floor with the drumsticks.
Yeah,
that was fun. I forgot about that.
And you know, and then you've got like, you know, the kind of more what I think of as like traditional songs that you guys do, as far as, you know, like kind of like that heavy psych rock. But can you tell me a little bit about the tune? Let me look and see what it was called. Oh, One Time Investment.
Okay, yeah. So that one,
right.
yeah.
That is super cool.
Nice, dude. I'm glad you dig that.
So, after right when the quarantine hit, we didn't see each other for like maybe a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were worried about practicing. So when summer hit, I think we had been like, all right, we got to do something.
Yeah.
So we were going out in the backyard and playing acoustic. So we wrote on a couple acoustic tracks, and that was one of them. Nick recorded, mixed and mastered that track.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
and so we put that one on this album to kind of cap it off. You know?
Yeah. And I saw a review somebody did of the album, and they said it was like a Days of the New type song, and that's like me and Nick, Steven.
Yeah, it's like a huge influence for us. Yeah, love Days of the New.
So it was awesome.
That was a chance for me to play guitar with Gordie too instead of bass, which was cool.
Yeah.
We just did two guitars on that. We talked about doing like an acoustic bass scenario, but I said no, I'd rather bring in another guitar.
I like with acoustic songs, I like a fuller guitar sound.
It feels,
you know,
yeah.
Rather than a bass sound.
Yeah, I would agree, because I think it would sound weird if you had like some kind of like acoustic bass in there, because it would,
I just felt like
gel.
There's certain scenarios, but it's like, I agree too.
Yeah,
because it kind of drops out, you know.
Yeah.
You want to feel it, you know. So.
Yeah.
And we did write a few more songs kind of in that vein too. That.
Oh, really?
Unreleased.
We're sitting on them, yeah. Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that would be a nice compliment to the album. But I was going to mention that I think you did a really great job as far as like integrating that song and making the mix fit, because sometimes when you do like add-ons like that where it's recorded somewhere else, you can tell like, oh shit, that guy recorded in the garage and this is in the studio.
Yeah, we were concerned about that, and I spent quite a bit of time trying to get it as close as I could. You know, to Emilio's sound, because he's awesome.
And we're really good friends with Emilio, so we're like, mostly Nick, but like me and him were sitting there trying to be like, okay, well, what did Emilio do? Okay, well, let's try doing that. Let's try moving this here and like see it, like go from there, you know, like as our reference, you know.
Emilio from Toneworks Studios did all the other tracks on the album.
Yeah, he's recorded all three of our albums.
Really?
Really,
okay.
Yeah.
I've been kind of.
The first one came out good, and the second one came out good. So we're like, let's not broke, let's not fix it. But
yeah.
I've been surprised by the feedback from all that because you like spend so much time sitting in front of the computer fucking with it. You kind of get too close to it,
tunnel vision,
and you're like, is it good?
Right. Well, and I would think
on it, yeah.
I would think after listening to it so many times, you almost get like kind of a white noise thing where it's hard to pick out the articulations that you want to accent and the ones that you were like, oh, that needs to be a little lower in the mix or whatever, and make sure that the song really fits. But yeah, you guys did a great job with that. And I think it's a fantastic song to end on too. Because you start off heavy, and then you kind of get into a little bit of funkiness, and then you have like some of those kind of slow bluesy things, and then some more. Oh yeah, I love those tunes. I think that's a trademark of the Lucid Furs. And so,
sure.
For the new album, I'm wondering like what each of your like favorite tunes are.
Okay.
Man, that's a hard question. I'll let you guys go first.
I can go first because that one's easier for me, I think, right on my level. Just because I'm big on vocals. I'm big on like vocal harmonies.
Yeah.
And that one has the most probably intricate like vocal parts.
Yeah.
And with all three of us singing, which I just think the more singers, the better, in my opinion. I love.
Yeah, we want to. Yeah, we're trying to do a lot as much as that as possible. We're trying to integrate
the next one. We'll do more of that.
Well, and
all three of us singing.
That was actually something I was going to mention, is because I feel like you've got more harmony on here too.
I was on like 2 tracks.
Yeah, he harmonized.
He sang on some tracks too.
I know, he didn't want to, but I was like, we were singing, and he did it, and I was like, okay, get in there. Right now. One of them is just like one of them is just like one word, but I'm like, get in there, do it. Come on. He's got a really great bassy voice. We never knew. And then he sang one day. I'm like, what? Get in that room right now.
No audition.
Me and Dan have been singing together for years, so it was cool to kind of bring what we did for so long over here, and the way Karen wrote out those parts, it just felt good. It kind of felt like nostalgic.
I was gonna say the same thing because I listened to so much Trigger stuff, which was their other before, and to me the harmonies were like something that I had heard even before I started playing guitar. So it was definitely nostalgic for sure, in a really good way.
Yeah, and for anybody listening to this, Trigger was another awesome Detroit band, and I had the privilege of being able to see you guys once.
They still jam.
They're still jamming.
Just got back to jamming.
Oh, thank the Lord. Thank the Lord.
Probably see us both on a bill.
Oh, absolutely. See, now that's like
if he's willing to do double duty.
Now, so please give me advance warning. I know I'm getting off topic, but give me advance warning of this so I make sure to block the calendar, because my shit gets fucked up, and I'm like, there's this other show. Oh, hell. All right, so back to favorite tunes. So we got Nick's. Who wants to go next?
My favorite song on the album. It's so hard to say. Honestly, I really enjoyed writing Conscious, just because obviously that's like a really fun drum part for me to play. Mm-hmm. I get to do like ghost note stuff and like, do a bunch of weird stuff. But I mean, I'd say Conscious is probably my favorite song. It's my favorite song to play live too. I really like playing it live.
Awesome.
And that chorus to me, like when we were first writing it, was super Kim Thale, like Soundgarden-y.
Yeah.
Half step, weird, coming back, and like so. Which I love. So.
That one for me it's one of those ones they had a couple songs written already before I had joined, with Norbert, their old bass player.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one, I try to make everything my own, but that was one I think that I listened to Norbert's bass parts and I just thought, I don't want to fuck with that.
Yeah.
It was just what he wrote was so good. I think I pretty much played mostly his bass parts on that one.
Cool.
Just because, you got to know when it's already good.
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck it up.
Right. Yeah.
And that's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Because I was like, we were trying to encourage him, like, no, dude, like, write whatever. If you want to put your stamp on this, like, put something on.
But his bass melodies were so, like, such a big part of the song. I felt like already,
like in that one.
Yeah.
Part. So nice.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's cool. So Karen, Gordie, who wants to go?
I'd say my favorite is Five Finger Disco. I really like
cool.
that, like performing
Yeah.
that song. We did that music video, which just
Oh, that's
went
right. Yes.
so wow with it.
Yeah.
And it's just a really fun little, disco. It's so dancey.
That's
And
definitely one of my
people,
favorites.
and then watching people like dance to that song and get excited about that song. That's what I love about touring is like seeing people's reactions to our music.
Yep.
Like in my face. I'm a starer. I'll stare right at people. I have people sometimes go like
Yeah.
and they walk away.
Burn in a hole.
Like, oh, I'm like, oh, they're dancing. Just watch that. And then I'm like, oh, I made people uncomfortable. All right.
We had a guy dancing so hard at a show the other night.
Oh yeah.
And I just thought,
That's my
let's
dude.
get this guy in front of a camera. This is
I
amazing.
know.
We just need a whole video of that guy dancing, like that Black Keys, that
Yeah.
Black El Camino, where it's just the dude dancing the whole time.
Yes.
This guy on there.
Yes. Yeah. And didn't somebody else do a video, or maybe it's just Christopher Walken, where he's like dancing and shit?
Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, now, did they really?
Yeah.
Holy
Oh no, we
shit.
just outed each
No
other
way.
as Smash.
You guys like Smash Mouth? What the?
I died from Smash Mouth.
I'm about to start.
I like Christopher Walken. I just
What's
gonna put, I like Christopher Walken.
I do like it. All right. Good save. Good save. Good
Not
save.
bad.
Good save.
Very much so.
All right, I'm owning it. All right, closet smash, whatever. Gordie, how about you, man?
All right. So as far as my favorite on the album, probably Another Page.
Nice.
Yeah,
I dig that tune. Yeah.
Recording it was fun, and I got to pull out the acoustic on that one. Like it's kind of layered, so the verse has an electric track and an acoustic track underneath it. So
It's like, where did I get the longest solo?
no. The longest one. Well, it's either that, like I like right on my level was sweet because I used to mix MIDI and shit. But I mean, in terms of like Another Page is sweet because it's kind of like, on No God, No Problem, I wrote Stay. And I don't really sit down and write a lot of songs. Like typically we jam and pick out pieces and we're like, oh, let's flesh it out. Let's figure it out. But I actually sat down and wrote Stay, or most of it. And then Another Page was one of those songs where
that's quite it.
I had sat down and like wrote that chord progression. Not that there's a lot to that song, in terms of,
But just a different approach.
When he plays,
Yeah.
he writes so many cool riffs so fast that he doesn't know. So I find that I gotta say, hey, stop.
That's the riff.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Because he'll forget. He'll be on to the next one so quick.
Yeah, and honestly, sometimes I'll circle back to the next
do.
bar and I won't actually remember when I played on the last bar.
wow.
I'll be like, oh, that was cool. I want to sing that. Can you do that again? I'd be like,
Do what?
What do we do?
Yeah.
I record our practices though.
Thank
for the
God.
most part, sometimes I'll forget, but I'll be like, oh, I got it though. Here, play this again.
No, you do have to do that because when I was in a band, I would do that thing where you noodle around and then drummer starts doing something, you jam something, and if you don't have it recorded, you're like, I don't know what I did.
It's so
Yeah,
easily
right.
lost, especially when
Right, because you're
the
jamming.
songs.
You want to do something really cool at like minute 2, and then you get like to minute 10,
Yeah.
and then you're like, what was that thing we were doing? Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's like, let's go back to that thing we did 3 minutes ago. It's like, wait, you're talking about the top where I had my eyes closed the whole time? I had no idea what was going on. I was vibing or shit.
Right. Well, and then you get to minute 10 and you're like, I have no idea what it was, but at minute 10 it just sucks ass. You're just like,
All of a sudden it's like, what the hell were we doing then?
God damn it, just stop playing.
Yeah, well, that's when everybody starts playing incremental, like every 10 seconds, somebody fall off, It's like, all right,
Jam.
this one's dead.
And then if I break into some kind of noodling thing, we're definitely fucked. So
Yeah.
And then the drugs start taking hold.
Yeah, from then on out, we're not very productive after that.
So speaking of like touring and doing drugs, no, not really.
Scratch my lip.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we can talk about that. Our lawyer said not to.
Yeah, yeah, we can talk about that. But as far as like, you've got like, you're traveling between states, you go into venues. What's the day like before the show? What are you guys on the road? Like, what's playing in the van? What are you listening to? Or is it silence? Is it?
There's so much playing in the van.
Manfred Mann's Earth Band. We got
It depends who's driving.
Nothing But Thieves.
Is it driver's choice?
Depends on who's driving. Usually it's who's picking the songs most of the time, but like it kind of switches between. But we all have pretty unique taste in music, and it's all a little bit different.
I'm putting on Mother's Cake if I get the chance.
Yeah, that's great.
Cake.
No.
Oh my God.
These guys are pretty good DJs, so I just kind of let them do their thing for the most part. But my favorite is when I drive at night and they're all asleep. And then I'll just put on like whatever.
She likes it when we're not. When we're
I love when they're unconscious.
I do my best work in that state, actually.
So Karen, what are you listening to while they're sleeping?
I don't know, just like
talk radio, podcast.
No, yeah, well, maybe some Cat Stevens. If I want to bring a little tear to my eye.
Yeah.
Stevens. I like me some Sufjan Stevens.
That dude rocks. I mean, he's got some awesome fucking songs. So yeah.
Oh yeah. I like grew up watching Harold and Maude with my mom.
Oh
so
yeah.
Cat Stevens is like my childhood favorite.
Nice.
I'm in the backseat just getting my ass handed to me in Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
He's got the Vita, the PS, the PlayStation Vita.
Oh, nice.
Getting smashed.
Unless we're playing chess, then I'm smoking on that chess.
I just lose and I lose and I lose, man.
Every day another way to lose. That's it. 10-hour box.
Do you guys have any like pre-show rituals, things you've got to do before every show?
Well, you warm up and stuff, right?
I warm up. I go to the van, which is sometimes awkward because people will be like standing outside of the van, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm just gonna start singing in here because it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And like get a moment to collect myself, fix my face, draw my face on.
I do that too.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know. We don't really have we don't really have like a band, like a ritual. I guess we just kind of. I think we've been doing it for all of us have been doing it for a while, and we don't really think of it as that big of a thing. We're just like, all right, set up. Oh, it's our turn.
Like it's our job, right? That's what we want to be doing, and like it's like it just comes natural.
Chat up the other bands.
For sure.
I do realize sometimes that I'm getting like a little too comfortable with just being in bars because I'm like changing my shoes in the bar. And like yesterday I was cutting up a t-shirt at a table, like making it tank top for me to wear that night because I was just like, wait, let me clean the shirt. Let me cut the shirt up. People are just watching me. I'm like, this is weird.
Well, I think it would get really weird if you broke out like a little hibachi on the fucking merch table and started cooking up some stuff.
Holy shit, that would be awesome.
Holy shit. Crack the egg with the sword.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Get a little swirl going.
I don't know how well, the hibachi would already be weird. Bringing a sword in. Like cause some
now we're throwing shrimp.
I mean, you got a full send though. You can't just half-ass that shit. You got.
That's right. Yeah, you'd have to commit to it. So something's going to suffer.
I don't think I'll be doing that. You guys want to do that?
Oh, I love cooking. I'll cook all the meals.
And bring our grill. Not supposed to grill inside.
That's right. So what else was I going to ask you guys? Oh yeah. So what is the best? I mean, obviously the show is probably the best part of traveling, but have you found anything that's been inspiring as far as being when you're on the road outside of the venue? And maybe just kind of go around like on this tour, something that
are great.
The tacos.
And now that we've been over in this area, the tacos. We've had so many tacos.
We loved it. I'm a huge fan of tacos.
I would say probably like just the camaraderie of just bullshitting. And just being friends and hanging out for way too long. And
That's a little I'm even tacos. Look at this.
I like talking to people from other walks, you know, like, oh, what's it like around here?
Yeah.
And telling them about Detroit and, you know, like, hey, you can get shot anywhere, not just Detroit.
Right.
To Detroit.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Detroit, we're bringing Detroit to you.
Right. Do you find that still is out there? That
Oh
kind
yeah.
of Detroit thing, like, oh shit, you're from Detroit.
Actually,
Right.
yeah, you'd be surprised.
Like,
Actually,
oh, really?
and we don't like use it like we're from Detroit, but like,
sorry.
yeah, it's weird.
I'm like, why?
We haven't beat anyone up or anything.
I know
Well,
we have been very polite out here representing.
We're very nice.
A lady at the
promise.
restaurant in New Orleans said that we were very nice and polite.
Really?
Yeah.
She said,
And if she said it, that means it's
She did.
correct. Don't take anyone else's word for it.
That's funny. Do you ever feel like that? I mean, do you correct people as far as like that? I mean, we know because we're from
I
Michigan.
tell
We've
them
been
that
in Detroit for a while. It has that
I think we
vibe,
should.
but it's not necessarily. I mean, if you're in the wrong area at the wrong time, yeah, that's a
Of
problem.
course, and that's anywhere.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's exactly. It's anywhere. You go to San Antonio, you go to some small town, and you're out in the middle of the sticks, and you're in the wrong, you know, that section of that little town.
Right.
You could have a problem.
Like, you ever seen Deliverance?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Dangerous everywhere.
I can play little banjo, so I might do all right. In that sense. I'll be like, it's just
But mainly it's just like, you know, we want people to come and see our music scene because we have like the coolest music scene.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I tell people that all the time, like, you should come play in Detroit. Don't be scared because there are so many really awesome, kind, receptive people who are also musicians who are supportive. And that's like, if that's the number one reason you should come to Detroit, because there's an audience there for everybody, you know?
Oh, for sure. Have you guys hooked up with any bands that you think may want to come up and do shows with you guys?
Oh, every time we play a show with a band that we haven't played with, it's like we always, that was like one of the first things we talked about. It's like, hey, you guys are awesome. You need to come to Detroit. Like, hit us up. We'll try to, we'll do whatever we can to help you. Even if we don't play with you, we'll like try to point you in the right direction, you know?
Right.
I have a policy that if you ask me to either play or about a show in Detroit, I will at least give you a few references.
Yeah.
Like a starting point, something, because it's hard. Booking is freaking hard. And Detroit booking in Detroit is not that easy either, unless you live there. And that's pretty much the case everywhere. So just that, like, try these two venues and these two bands is like a really great jumping off point when you're like, I've never been in this town. I don't know any of these bands, because from those venues, you can find other venues. And from those bands, you can find other bands.
Right.
So that's like just getting a hint of like, I think you might want to do this.
Right.
Is so helpful. So people have done that for me, and that's how we've gotten where we've gone. So I try to do that too. Yeah. And I do try to bring people into this into Detroit.
Well, that was a question when you were talking, Karen, because I was curious about, you know, what is the methodology you guys use for booking tours? Because you don't have a, you know, tour manager that's going to go out, or a promotional person. Well, I don't know that if you don't or do now because you're signed, but that's a lot of work to go through and work with different venues and figure out who's going to, you know, who can pay us, who can get us on a bill for something next. And so,
well, you got to learn the hard way a couple times sometime, but you just got to not be afraid to do it. You just message people until you get a yes, until you find a good scenario. You just keep at it. I work on it a little bit every day, you know, with the exception of like, I don't do it Sunday. I'm not bothering people, but you know, or Friday or Saturday night, like weekdays, you know, mornings, I'd be like, send a couple messages out, at least a few, and just keep working and chipping away at it. You don't always like we couldn't find a Wednesday gig this time around, but it is what it is. And you know, you just keep working at it and it'll happen. Somebody will be like, all right, I'll give you a hand. Yeah. And when you're playing somewhere for the first time, it's an icebreaker. So if you can at least play with two bands, you can introduce yourself to 8 people, or like 6 to 8 people from that town.
Right.
And that's good enough. That's a opening. 6 to 8 people you didn't know before.
Right.
You know, at least one of them is bound to be cool. You know, helpful. You know, for sure. I just got to keep working at it.
Awesome. So we've talked before about like first albums and such. And so kind of getting into that thing of like, you know, getting to know you guys as people. Why don't we talk about like when you were in school and elementary school? What was the best part of elementary school for each of you guys? What class did you dig? Maybe if you think of a teacher or a particular thing, what was that thing that really like said, yeah, I dig this? Or you could have said, fucking hated school and I didn't like it at all. So, Dan, how about you?
I've always kind of like been a pretty hyper dude and high energy, so I was a big fan of gym. Remember they used to have those like ropes?
Yes.
Where it was, like in the ceiling and you had to climb. I could do that with like not even trying.
Yeah.
Just like just.
And we also have videos of him climbing telephone.
Oh yeah, I climb a lot of
for
things.
the sake of a sticker
big fan of
slab. So
oh man, it's funny you mentioned that rope thing because I was thinking that the other day. Because obviously getting old, and I'm thinking, when I was in high school, I used to be able to climb that fucking rope. I don't know if I could do it now.
I wonder if they still do it because I'm like, man, I wonder if they know about like, man, if somebody lets go, they're dead. Like that rope is so high.
They had that little prison bed pad, like the little bed pad. I like that shit.
They won't get blood anywhere, but it'll still break all your bones,
right.
I just don't know how they condescend.
It wasn't that high. You were just very small.
No. Actually, no. At Huron Park, that was we had a huge auditorium, so I think it was extremely high, like scary. Actually,
I think as an adult, the rope climbing is a little less interesting because you already know nothing's up there.
I mean, go all the way up.
It's just like, reach the end of the rope.
Thinking, I can go somewhere. So, Gordie, how about you?
Well, I would say like music class, but I didn't play music back then, so I won't say that. It might have been art class or like just fighting or skateboarding or something.
Nice fighting.
He loves fighting, man. This guy.
Fighting class.
I remember the first time I got in a fight as a little kid, some kid like kicked me in the balls as like a little kid. And I didn't do anything right then and there, but I like went home and like got mad about it and came back and beat him up the next day. And then I said, "Oh, kid."
That was Matt.
So Nick, how about you?
Music band class.
Yeah.
Jazz band. Yeah, that stuff.
Awesome.
I think probably me and Dan started playing together. I think when we were still in elementary school.
Yeah, we were 10 or 11 when we met.
So
seriously,
yeah, we already
like
met.
2099 or 2000 or something like that. We met.
Nice. Very nice. And Karen?
I was like a little bit of a loner in elementary school, so I liked recess because I would hide.
Oh, yeah, recess.
I was like, oh, get away from everybody.
Is that your favorite part?
That was my favorite part, yeah.
Actually,
Your favorite. My favorite part was avoiding people on the playground.
I had so many hiding places, you don't even know. I had so many.
There's a lot of people hiding when Gordie's walking around.
Maybe not in elementary.
That's awesome.
My elementary school actually had a soccer field. I went to Forest Park in East Point, and they had a huge soccer field. And every time, they had that soccer field, and it was fun.
I didn't know he went there.
You could like slide tackle kids and stuff. Like
we were supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But I always did because I couldn't. I sucked at soccer, but I could run really fast. I always catch them, but I couldn't. Like,
Probably still would, but it's deeply frowned upon.
And that was science class.
Yeah, I don't like children either. Still don't.
I'd go slide tackle a kid on that field right now. I'd slide tackle a shit out.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think we talked about. I know we talked about first records, but I don't think we talked about first concerts. I'm pretty sure we didn't.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I remember my first concert. You're talking about first song
yeah.
or first one you played?
First concert you went to and saw. Yeah.
In my memory, the first concert I ever went to was a Ted Nugent concert, and I was about, I don't know, 5 or 6 maybe.
What the hell? Why?
And I had a
What the hell were your parents thinking?
Traditional Ted Nugent style on like a buffalo, like it's
Oh
like
yeah.
flaming, and I remember I had like those glow sticks that they sell at the concert.
Yeah.
I was air guitaring on that. And I had like a crowd around me, like of adults that were just like, "This is better than the show." And I'm like falling on my knees, like.
That's awesome. Man, I've never seen Ted Nugent actually.
He's pretty good live. I mean,
yeah,
honestly.
I love.
It's been a long time, but
Back in the day, I was like listening to Weekend Warriors, and
those first few albums with Derek St. Holmes are really good.
Fuck
there's
yeah.
good music on there.
Oh yeah, Catch Fever and all those great. Yeah, super good. Later on, he got a little crazy, but
yeah.
I don't know if I love him as a dude.
As a dude, no.
Whatever,
Yeah, if he's listening, fuck you, Ted. I'm not a fan of him.
Fuck you, Ted.
As far as his
nugget.
as far as his like political views and all that shit, it doesn't fit in my fucking world. But his music rocks, and so I'm not gonna shit on him for that.
Let's support you on the next tour, but.
Oh shit.
So Gordie, how about you?
This is a question for my dad mostly because I know he brought me to a lot of shit when I was a kid. But I would say, it was probably like Alice Cooper at the State Fair or something like that. He used to play at the State Fair.
Oh yeah, I've seen Alice Cooper quite a few times.
Off grass shit or whatever,
Yeah.
So there's probably that. My first one that I went to like as a consenting adult, or I don't know, that I remember going to personally was it was like the Black Crowes with Derek Trucks.
Oh shit.
And that show was badass. Yeah. And like this was in high school. I didn't go to a lot of concerts before that because I didn't start playing guitar until I was like 16.
Where was that at?
It was
at
Pine Knob or whatever.
Yeah, was it the Pine Knob or the small Pine Knob, which I think in Sterling Heights, Freedom Hill or whatever it's called?
That one. No, it wasn't that. It was the real one.
Okay.
Yeah, at least from what I remember.
The real one.
The real one. No, it wasn't the Freedom Hill one.
Not that fake ass shit.
It was pretty sweet though. It was really badass. And I went with some friends from high school, like my buddy Ethan and Alan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was cool.
Excellent.
I grew up watching my dad's band practice. I know that's not really a concert, but it always gave me, the concerts that I went to in my early age. I just always felt like my dad shreds harder than these guys. I mean, really, that's
his dad does shred. That's fucking awesome. His dad's the shit.
Mark is really good.
But for the sake of the question, I think maybe one of the earliest ones that I really remember is probably like Paul McCartney and the Wings.
Oh wow, cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. That'd be
which was great. Which was really cool.
Yeah, that'd be super awesome. So is your dad still playing?
He still plays. Yeah, he doesn't really play shows or anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, we get together a couple times a month and we jam, and I jam with them sometimes.
That's cool.
And he'll come jam too.
Nice. That's awesome. That's super cool. Karen.
Well, for me, I do remember seeing Alice Cooper at the State Fairgrounds. As a little kid, I went and saw NSYNC.
Oh,
and then the first adult concert, what I remember was the Amino Acids, the Jollies, and Toxic Shock Syndrome at 2500 Club.
Sweet.
That was my first show I ever went to.
Wow.
I met punk rockers in the woods, and they took me to Detroit.
The Amino Acids.
We're still friends. They
That's
just
awesome.
Detroit.
That's
funny.
It was great. It was a great show.
That's awesome.
I've been watching the Amino Acids, is a band I've seen the most.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Yeah. No, I remember last time that you mentioned the Amino Acids, and that you know, as far as like music and stuff, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they're killer, man. I think we have both their record. Well, you have their full length, and then I have a couple of their 45s, and yeah, they're great.
Yeah. So I think it may have come up when we were talking about records or something like that, but yeah, very cool. Yeah. Awesome.
So what about Chuck Marshall?
Oh,
he's interviewed.
Yeah.
We're turning the tail. Now we're asking the questions.
What was the question? First concert?
Your first concert.
Oh,
I know it's probably sweet.
It was super memorable. So little pre-story to it. I think it was 9th grade. So I went through phases where I was like super addicted to a certain band, right? And it was really like I started, my first album was Elton John. I got really into Elton John. I listened to Elton John, when I was young, like, I don't know, 9, 10, 11. Then 6th grade, somebody played Kiss Alive and I became a Kiss fan. And I was like, I had Kiss posters, I bought all their albums. I was just like, Kiss, Kiss, Kiss. Had the Kiss belt buckle. So I get into high school. I'm 14 or whatever. Totally into Kiss. Kiss is at that point starting to fade away. Like I think they were, it was that weird. So when I was a freshman, it was 79. I think,
right.
So they were going into the 80s, and they were that was the downstroke for Kiss.
They start doing
the disco thing.
Yeah.
You're like, oh fuck. So it was bad news to be into Kiss, and so. Not that I wanted to escape them because I still love them. But anyway, I still remember his name. His name was Carl, kind of a quiet dude. And he goes, "Hey, man, do you ever listen to Rush?" I'm like, "The fuck is Rush?" And so he gave me 2112. He loaned me that. And I'm like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was all about, I knew every fucking lyric. I'm singing along like I think I'm Geddy Lee, like, ah.
That's awesome.
So anyway, he goes, "Hey, dude, you want to go to see Rush?" And so we went to see Rush for the Moving Pictures tour.
Wow, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was. I was just like, "Fuck!" It's just
Where
so
did you see
awesome.
him at?
I think it was Cobo, or it was Joe Louis.
Yeah,
might have been Joe Louis, and it was with. Do you remember a band called Max Webster? They were a Canadian band, and they were one-hit wonder. They had Go for Soda, the song it's super poppy.
I've never heard of that.
I'm looking it up though.
Oh, we gotta check that out. Yeah.
It's a cool tune. But Max Webster opened up, and it was great though. Fuck. Although at that time when that came, so I was super into like Free Will, Permanent Waves, and before, and when. Moving Pictures came out, was all the kind of synthy things that, again, like in the 80s. Yeah, because I was like, was super anti. Around that time, I was getting into Rush, and then got into Black Sabbath, Ozzy, and Iron Maiden and shit.
Right.
And people were listening to the B-52s and shit, which at the time I thought sucked. Like now, retrospectively, like
now it's sweet.
Shit.
Yeah,
you're like,
cool now.
yeah. But back then I was like, fuck these fucking new wave motherfuckers. I just fucking hated it. I'm like, fuck off. Listening to something fucking heavy. So, it was Rush or this, but anyway, I'm diverging into my twisted path, which led to like Maiden. Right. I got totally into Maiden and Priest, and then it wasn't until like the 90s, I think, I was in a band and I heard Carcass and At the Gates, and that's opened the doors to fucking hell.
Real heavy shit.
Yeah. That's when you got on the hard stuff.
Yeah.
That's when I was just mainlining fucking death metal. Like,
Nice. Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool,
Yeah. So guys, I really appreciate getting to talk to you guys. I can't wait to see you. I still haven't gotten to a show, so I'm hoping that when you come back, you're gonna do some Detroit gigs. Again, put me in the early loop as far as like when that is, so I can mark.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I've got one last question. Typically, the question is about pizza, but Dan, you weren't there, but everybody else has talked about pizza, so I'm going to ask a different
Pineapple goes on
question.
the pizza.
Yeah.
I remember.
Whether it's pineapple or not, but how about nuts or no nuts in brownies? Dan.
Wow, that's an interesting question. Well, first of all, and nuts in pretty much everything sounds good to me. I mean, put them in the chocolate, put them in everything, whatever.
All right.
I gotta go no nuts. I mean, if you're, you know, I got a big problem with people trying to bring foreign foods into dessert time.
He's a weird thing with fruit. He has a weird thing with fruit.
Yeah,
I don't know
because
why. I don't know why.
They're like, let's put the banana in the ice cream. I just don't fucking get
Fucking
it.
wonderful, dude. It's one of the best desserts out there. Banana
Except
split.
for
Pecan pie.
the ice cream. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm with you, Nick. Man, I'm not into like,
Hey, you
have ice cream, you know? And well, I won't give my thing away.
I'm fine with it.
You're fine with
Or
so nuts or no nuts?
She's like, just give me the fucking brownies.
Yeah, it's fine. And
I'll
Gordie?
say probably as far as brownies are concerned.
Yeah.
Typically, I'm a no nut brownie kind of guy, but no nut brownie. But like as far as cookies are concerned, I'll definitely do a pecan cookie, a walnut cookie, like a cranberry, like walnut or a cranberry cashew. I don't care. Like I'll put it in a cookie, but a brownie.
Now you're getting fucking exotic, buddy. Settle down.
He's an exotic guy, dude. Real exotic.
Cranberry fucking walnut. I mean, who the fuck's making that?
Who the fuck says this shit?
You know that these guys only taste weed when they eat dessert.
So I'm trying to diverge from the
Right.
Trying to cut it.
Put that in there.
cranberry, like a
Not gonna
cranberry
taste it.
almond cookie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh man, we're gonna have to have like a cookie bake off at the next show, maybe.
I can't bake.
Yeah, me neither.
I'll ruin the
I'm
fucking
gluten free too, so I'm gonna have to bake some gluten free shit, and it's gonna
Yeah, that sounds
crumble, and
really
it ain't gonna
hard.
taste
Don't
that
do
good. You know, like they
shit. Everybody's gonna be disappointed. What the fuck is this gluten?
Right? Why do we have these corn cookies?
The bake sale is just the table's just full. They're
I'll bring
like,
some
really good,
Tates.
like-
I'll bring some Tates. Those are good.
There's-
I made chocolate chip cookies. Like I was broke one Christmas, so I was like, I'm gonna make all my friends chocolate chip cookies because I don't have money.
Yeah.
So I did that, but they came out like fucking pancakes. And I was broke, so I was like, well, all right,
I
I'm
want
gonna
a
fucking
Mickey Mouse
tins. I gave one of my friends is like, I didn't feel real good after I ate one of these cookies. I was like, all right, I'll never break again, I promise.
Christmas pancakes. Oh, man. That could be the name for the next album, Karen's Christmas Pancakes. Boom.
Ooh, like that.
So people are gonna be asking me for shit. I
We're
can't
We're doing a
do it.
cover of. We're gonna do a cover of "Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer."
There you go.
That's
Run
Christmas song.
Rudolph is my.
I do cover.
So bonus
especially not
question.
Christmas
Bonus
covers,
question.
but-
What's your favorite Christmas song?
Oh yeah.
Dude, my favorite Christmas song, straight up, is probably "Blue Christmas." That's a great song.
Oh, that's it. That's a good one.
I love "Blue Christmas."
Man, I don't like a Christmas song.
Me neither.
I can't believe it. None of these guys, they're grouches, dude.
It's the
Oh.
lyrical
I am
content
a
that I can't
holiday
really relate
curmudgeon.
to.
I like Halloween.
Thanksgiving
And Fat
Christmas are
Tuesday.
the prime holidays.
Fat Tuesday. Who doesn't
Nick,
like that?
Nick, there's no Christmas song.
I mean, like all I
Winter
want
maybe.
is you, like, you know, maybe the
Oh.
NCR version or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
my
Grinch.
Chemical
That's a good song. You know, you're a main one, Mr. Grinch.
No, it's hokey and stupid. I don't like
I'm with you on that.
Christmas is my favorite holiday.
And I can't relate to the lyrical content. I don't know many reindeer.
So
I'm not even
Gordie,
gonna come up with an answer.
Gordie, what's yours then?
Run, Rudolph. That's so much fucking sweet.
It does,
And I
actually.
love that shit. And then, you know, that's basically like 4 songs in one. You know, and it just
What?
makes me feel nostalgic, which is why I love Christmas.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for being on Fans with Bands. Thanks again for your awesome music, Dan. That's easy. And, you know, thank you guys for being you. And I can't wait to see you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Still haven't seen you for real. I mean,
Will. You will.
God damn it. So,
Yeah. Only on the
Well, but no, don't say.
all right, guys.
No, the camera adds 10 pounds. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I always look at myself on the camera and I look like super red, and then I go into the room. I go, "Am I fucking beat red?" And I'm like,
It's the lighting. You need warm lighting.
clearly, I'm like. Anyway, I try not to look at
You
myself.
look good though. You look great.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks, guys. I know I'm sexy. Motherfucker. All right. See you guys.
All right, man.
Peace.
Take it easy.
See you, man.
Try. I'll even watch some.
Dude, try.
You hang up. No, you hang up.
All right, I'm hanging up now.
You can hang up.
See ya. Thanks to Karen, Nick, Gordie, Dan, and Gordon for joining me on this episode of Fans with Bands. If you love hard rock with a bit of the blues and a touch of funk, then you need to get a copy of the Lucid Furs' new album, Damn That Was Easy. If you are in Detroit, be sure to see them open up for I Hate God on December 19th at the Sanctuary. This is going to be one hell of a show. Gah! These are tough times for everyone in the creative industries such as music. Your support of live streaming, purchasing music, and merchandise is critical. If you can help out your local artists, please do. If you are in the Michigan area, consider following the Playing in the Detroit Area Tonight Facebook page. It is a place for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show and leaving a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jams.